both myself and certainly Ola and Sabrina are committed to sticking with you throughout the process and to
Absolutely.
coaching you to where if you're not ready today, here's what we need to do in order to get you ready in the not too distant future. So those
Hmm.
are crucial parts of the transaction. Once I get the pre-approval process underway and I'm able to verify your income and your assets and your credit, uh, typically I can tell you what kind of program you're going to qualify for, whether it's an FHA loan, which is a government backed loan um, for home buyers that allows them to access the home buying process with less than stellar credit, and it's a minimum down payment of only 3.5%. So that's one program. There are conventional loans that have higher um, down payment requirements and certainly higher credit requirements. Those are loans that are available. For our military folks who have served, we proudly do offer VA loans, which are one of the few 100% finance loans out there. It's available to vets. The vet has to be on the loan, of course. So VA loans are available.
Hmm.
Also, there are USDA loans. USDA loans are loans that the government backs and sponsors for rural areas. Now, in Mecklenburg County, there aren't really any USDA areas, but for those of you who may be interested in some more rural areas, some more outlying areas, USDA may be an option for you as well. So we offer the full spectrum of mortgage products, so that we can fit pretty much probably 98% of the clients that come through. We're able to help and we're able to get them on the road. So more than anything else, the pre-approval process is really what's crucial, because in that process, lastly, I'll say that I will coach you on what your maximum uh, purchase amount is, and then we can talk about what perhaps your budget might allow, because your maximum amount may not always be um, what you want to spend.
Hmm.
You typically you never really want to max out. And then the last piece I'll talk about are really just the realities um, of the marketplace right now. And without stepping into Ola or Sabrina's arena, because I'm a licensed mortgage originator, not a real estate agent.
Hmm.
But having dealt with professionals like Ola and like Sabrina and like so many other referral partners that I have, um, it's a very competitive real estate market out there. Folks are having to overbid on listing prices and things of that nature that cause them to, you may not get the house that you put your first offer in on.
Hmm.
So as a lender, my obligation is to make sure your pre-approval is jam up and jelly tight, so that when Sabrina or Ola puts an offer in on your behalf,
Hmm.
one of the key things that they can tell their seller is that A, they're pre-approved with Movement Mortgage, and our reputation in the region is unsurpassed for customer service and closing loans. That's what we do.
Yes.
But more importantly, closing them quickly. You may have to commit to closing at 30 days or maybe even less, because sellers in this marketplace, as I mentioned, it's very competitive. One of the competitive edges that you may have is to be able to close quickly. So
Yes.
those are some of the things that we offer at Movement Mortgage that will help you um, buy the home of your dream in this hyper competitive market that we're in.
Absolutely. Hmm.
Great information. James, would you please share the difference between uh, getting a mortgage with a mortgage company and typically getting a mortgage with a bank?
Okay, sure, sure. Namely because I've been on both sides of that fence. As I mentioned, I've been originating mortgages for a long time, but I did spend some time several years ago working for a local commercial bank, and some of the challenges that I ran into as a professional is that larger banks, they have lots of stuff going on, whether it be, checking and savings and branches, and they have a lot going on. And oftentimes that bogs down the process
Mhm.
so that they don't have the ability to close your loan in a reasonable amount of time. For us, a reasonable amount of time is 30 days or even less. I
Mhm.
mean, I've closed loans in 14 days from the time I got the application to the time people were at the desk or at the closing table.
Mhm.
That's not a possibility with most banks,
Not at
probably
all.
99.999% of them,
Yeah.
namely because their processes are not geared to expediting the mortgage transaction process. So time, I would say, is one of the bigger issues. And also specialized circumstances. When I say specialized circumstances, a lot of banks, they have their own overlays over the top of what Freddie Mae or Fannie Mac
Yeah.
or any of those government entities. They have their own overlays over the top of what they allow, and they restrict. And so if you have higher debt to income ratios, or if you have maybe not the best credit,
Right.
doesn't mean you can't buy. It just means that they have guidelines that keep you from buying using them. And
Right.
certainly they're not going to um, invest the time and effort that you'll get from both myself and both Sabrina and Ola in walking you through the process. You're not going to get that level of service.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Sure,
Mhm.
Awesome information.
sure.
Um, does anyone have any questions for Mr. Hayden? You can put it in the chat or you can unmute yourself.
Well, I always get questions. I always get questions on the money.
Don't
Everybody asks
worry.
questions
They
on
if they
money.
don't come now, they'll come at the end. Don't worry.
I have a question.
Sure.
You alluded to the fact that the market is highly competitive. Are you
Yeah.
seeing more people of color purchasing homes than in previous seasons?
Um,
Good question, Nicole.
I really, from a diversity standpoint, I really haven't seen a whole lot of shift, um, and it's not due to the market. I don't think. I think it's about the same. The amount of diversity and what have you is about the same.
Mhm.
I think that folks are realizing because the pandemic has really suppressed interest rates. Home ownership is more affordable now
Absolutely.
than it has been in the past. And that's kind of offset by the rising prices. But no, I can't say that I've seen a lot of change in people of color purchasing homes versus not.
Mhm.
Great. James, could you please share what is needed for pre-qualification? One of our participants would like to know.
Okay, so pre-qualification really only involves you going to my secure website and doing an application, typing in what your income is. Um, the system will automatically update your credit report, pull your credit report, so I will see what your debts and liabilities are. But again, I caution you, the difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval is very important. Now, my system automatically will prompt the applicant to upload these vital pieces of information: your pay stubs, your W-2s from the last 2 years, your bank statements, these are documentable assets that I would review to make sure that the numbers that I give you for your pre-approval are accurate and you actually do qualify.
Mhm.
For instance, oftentimes folks will put in, when they do an application, um, on the income block, they might only put in um, their net income. So they might put $3,000 in there because that's what they take home. And to them, that's the number. But that's not what mortgage lenders use. We use your gross. We use your gross income and calculate your debt to income ratio based off your gross, not off your net. So you can actually kind of hamstring yourself and actually make it look like you qualify for less because I don't have all of your income. So that's an important part, an important piece that folks get mixed up between a pre-qual and a pre-approval.
So James, that's why it's vitally important to get the steps in, correct? The paycheck stubs, the bank statements and things of that nature. So.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Because I mean, years and years ago, obviously, when the when computers and laptops and all that stuff came, I used to have IT people say to me, um, garbage in, garbage out. And that just means if you put misinformation in, you're going to
Yeah,
get
get it out.
misinformation back out.
Mhm.
So
Right,
it's important that we get accurate information so I can reply to you in an accurate way.
absolutely. Awesome.
Okay, so if someone has not gotten pre-qualified, they
Mhm.
see a home they really, really want, and they need to get that quick pre-qualification.
Mhm.
What are they going to have to give you just for the pre-qualification?
Oh, they can just go to the website and do an online application right from their phone. They could be standing in the house that they're interested in, and I'll see it and I'll get it and I could process it probably in less than 15 minutes or so.
Mm, yeah,
Okay, so what are they just putting in? Their income?
So they're putting in their the really the five major pieces of information: your full name, your date of birth, where you live, um, marital status, then your job, what your gross income per month is. So, and then you don't have to put the address of the property that you're interested in. You could just put that in what we call TBD or to be determined. But those are really the five: your full name, your date of birth, social security number, your job information. Those are the kinds of information that we need. It's a very minimal amount, and that would allow me to update the credit report and base what you could qualify for based on what you make.
excellent.
All right.
Very quick and very easy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, thank you for that
Sure.
very, very relevant information.
Sure. Now, one other thing I did want to throw in there, and one of the things that I get asked about a lot are, are there any programs, down payment assistance programs available for folks who may not have the assets available? And I would say to you that the short answer to that is yes. Um, there are local programs that your lender has to be qualified to do, which I am, and there are state programs that your lender has to be qualified to do. So down payment assistance programs are out there. I will caution you and say though, and again, without sliding over into the real estate agent's purview, it's tough out there to get an offer accepted with down payment assistance. Typically, because number one, these programs have restrictions on them. So as you all know, there's no such thing as free money. It all comes with strings attached, whether it's having to keep your debt to income ratio at a certain level, whether it's you having to live in the property for a certain amount of time, whether it's even the amount of the assistance. But all those things will mean that it will take longer to close that loan. So if you recall earlier in the process or earlier in my dissertation, I talked to you about one of the key things that we do at Movement, which is quick closes. Well, fast closings are kind of taken out of the scenario when you're talking about down payment assistance. Typically, those programs take 45 to 60 days minimum to close, and that could be not so attractive for a seller. As a matter of fact, there are builders who are taking deposits for lots that will not take a contract when the borrower is leveraging any kind of down payment assistance. So it's a difficult environment, but the short answer is yes, those programs are out there, but they can be problematic. Now, with that being said, lots of folks don't know that they can tap, say for instance, their 401k. Most of your 401k providers will allow you to take what we call a hardship withdrawal from your 401k. It's not a loan like some loans from your 401k can be. You can borrow money from it and then they payroll deduct it weekly. Well, a hardship withdrawal is only for the purposes of you purchasing a house. So they'll allow you to take the money out, and they'll allow you to take the money out without having to repay it. That's a quick and effective way for you to leverage your 401k to buy your home as well.
Yep.
Oftentimes you can get a gift from family members, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa. They want to help you get started. They want to help you along your way. They can give you a gift. Both of those options do not slow the process down. You could still close in 30 days or less, even using those options. Okay?
Awesome.
All right. Thank you so much, James.
Sure. Hey, Miss Leela.
All right. Well, the time that some of you have been waiting for. So I am going to pose a question. And if you don't win, if you give the right answer, but someone else wins, you have to blame Zoom, because we're going to take the first one that comes up in the chat. All right. Oh, and there is a gift card. Ola or Vanna, what do you have?
Sabrina, I have a $25 gift card to wherever you want.
Ooh, I love those Visa cards. All right. And thank you, Mr. Hayden, for your support with prizes. All right, here we go. Let's see. I've got like 5 questions written down. Tell me this. What is the government-backed loan for homeowners that usually requires 3.5% down? Type it in the chat.
All right. Come on, you guys. Let's see. We got 1 answer, 2 answers. Let's see who is that. All right. It looks like Adrian Gore came in. Did she come in first or did Antonio come in first? Oh no, Gabby. Oh, they all came in at the same time.
Well, Adrian says 1032.
Okay.
Gabby and Sandy says 1032.01.
Okay, there we go.
Antonio 1032.09.
Okay.
All right. So we will, Adrian Gore, congratulations.
Congratulations, Adrian.
All right. And Sandy, Gabby, and Antonio, don't be discouraged. We have another one coming up.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, James. That was great, valuable information.
Yes. James always does such a good job of breaking it down and making sure that everyone's questions are answered. So
absolutely.
Kudos. So now we are going to have one of my favorite people. Nicole is with us, and it's hard to believe that Nicole was my very first client. You didn't know, did you? No, she is here, and she's going to just talk a little bit about the process. And Nicole and her husband Prince actually built their home in Union County. And Nicole is an awesome woman of God, and she's an author, she's a teacher, and she is not a former client. She will always be my client.
Mm-hmm.
So without further ado, Nicole.
Thank you so much. I am shocked. I had no idea that I was your first client. I am so grateful to be here. Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you, Ola, for inviting me. There's so much to say, and so I'm going to try to be brief, but I do want to begin with what a blessing I feel Ola and Sabrina were to my family. And I know that it wasn't just my family. I know that this is God's hand on their business, and that they make an impact on their clients. And so I'm just so grateful for your help. Oprah said that she wants her house to rise up and greet her every morning.
Amen.
And my house does that. I am so happy when I wake up in the morning. I am filled with so much gratitude that I get to live here. And so that is not something just for a select few individuals. I believe that that is the intent of God, that all of us be able to own our homes
Yes.
and feel the peace and the joy of God in them. So
Mm.
my journey really began. We got a job here in Union County, and so we had to move from Fayetteville, and we had a house that we already owned. And so coming to Union County, it wasn't an option for us to really purchase until we sold our other home. So we got a rental, and within that year, our house sold, but we stayed put, and the rent increased by $100. And so we were like, oh, okay. So we paid the rent, that increase, and then the following year, it increased by another $100.
Mm.
And when we calculated the money, we realized that in 2 years we had paid $50,000 to rent a house, and it just was not a good use of our money. We were not being good stewards over what God had given us, and so
Yeah.
we had about a month and a half between that new lease started and when we got that information, and so we were like, okay, we're gonna buy a house, right?
Mm.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we were like, well, okay, how do we go about this? We don't have any savings because we've been paying X amount of dollars every month in this rental. And so I was on Facebook and saw this ad that talked about what Mr. James just spoke about, down payment assistance. And so I put in my information, and within 5 minutes, I got a ding. And it was Ola Martin's Advantage Real Estate Company that reached out to me. And I put in my little information, and then Andrea Fripp contacted me, who was is she a lender? Is she,
Yes.
I'm not even sure what she is.
Mm-hmm.
She's a lender.
Uh-huh.
And so within a matter of a day or two, I was pre-qualified. I was told how much house I could purchase. Sabrina reached out to me right away, introduced herself, and I don't know what she thought, but I gave her a list. Now that I realize I was her first client, I'm so sorry, but I gave her a list of houses that I wanted, and I said I wanted a side garage, and I was just very, specific about what I wanted, and she gave me a list of houses. And my husband and I, we got in the car, we went and looked, and then we found a development. And I'm telling you that the process between that little Facebook ad and getting into relationship with Sabrina was seamless. It was as if she were waiting for me. And
I was.
you were. And the relationship and the rapport that we had, she was extremely professional, but she was also so personable that I felt like, this is where we are. I didn't have any secrets. I know that when you're giving your financials to people, it can be a little bit intimidating, but with Sabrina, it was like, mama, auntie, listen, this is where we have these student loans, and we're going to need help, navigating this.
Mhm.
And so let me just put a pin right there and go back to our first purchase. When we purchased our first home, we were in our 20s. We did not have a realtor. We met the builder, and he talked us into a lot that had this swamp in the backyard. And he promised us that he would fix the swamp, and we believed him. And on the day of closing, we said, "Are you going to fix the swamp?" He said, "I promise I'm going to fix the swamp." And so we moved into our house, and weeks and months, we found out that it was protected wetlands and that he could not fix the swamp, but he didn't tell us that. And we didn't have a realtor to speak on our behalf and advocate for us. And so moving through this process, I wasn't going to have a realtor either, but
Mhm.
God saw fit to put Sabrina in my life, because we did encounter some hiccups even with this process.
Yeah.
And we were discouraged at some, we were ready to walk away. And Sabrina, woo.
Mhm. Praise God.
Yes.
She reminded us of the promises that we were standing on, because we told her upfront what God had told us, and it looked like it wasn't going to happen. And we were like, okay, well, maybe we didn't hear right. And Sabrina was like, no, you heard right. This is your house. You're going to get this house.
Mhm.
And I just can't tell you how grateful I am. July 23rd, it took us a long time to close, and that was due to the builder's lender. Um, Mr. James talked about them being able to close because this is what they do, this is their focus. We experienced that, we were just a number with that particular builder's lender, but Sabrina stayed on them, and she was a mama bear, and she made sure that we got everything and more than what we expected. And so I will forever keep both she and Ola in my heart and be grateful every day I wake up in this house.
Thank
I'm
you.
done. I'm
Thank
done.
you so much. Love you, girl.
I love you
Yes,
too.
Testimony.
that is so sweet. Thank
Mm.
you.
All right. And you all can tell Nicole is shy like I am. And that's why we click. Neither one of us like to talk.
Really? Sabrina?
Really?
What a wonderful testimony, though. What a wonderful testimony.
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Nicole. Such a blessing.
Wow. Does anyone have any questions for Nicole? Thank you so much, Nicole. You are such a special person.
Yes.
And you let Prince know as soon as COVID opens up, we're coming up there. Ola and I are coming for that cookout.
That's right. We're ready.
Yes, I have not forgotten. You know I don't forget
Ready.
any.
I do have one question for Nicole, and that is, I think Sabrina mentioned earlier that you're an author. So tell us a little bit about the book you've written.
Yeah.
I wrote a book in 2015. It's called Light Off, A Call to Illuminate the World. My husband and I were missionaries in Ghana for 5 years. And the book really talks about what God taught me through the electricity crisis in Ghana, the fact that there was no light for a lot of part of the day, and how God showed me that we are called to be the light, and we also have disruptions in our ability to produce light in dark places, and what we need to do to fix that.
Beautiful.
Wow. So is that available on
Yep.
Amazon?
It is
Okay. And what's the name of the book again?
Light Off,
Right off.
a call to illuminate the world.
And Nicole, if you would put that in the chat.
Sure.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It is a quick read, and I'm actually going to read it again because so many times you garner more information a second time.
Yes.
So I've recommended it. I even gave it to my pastor for him to read, and it is a phenomenal book. So please, everyone, read it. And you know what? Oh, we should have had one available, but what we will do, we're going to do another special drawing, and we're going to give away a book. We're
Yes.
going to give away Nicole's book.
Absolutely.
All right. So
Yay.
good.
Hey, can I be in that?
You may.
I don't know, James.
I have
All right.
one more question.
Okay.
Nicole, you said you all built your house?
Yes, ma'am. So the builder
Let's
was
see.
already on this particular lot. So we were able to get in before the sheetrock or anything went up.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
Thank you again, Nicole. That was great information.
Very good.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have a presentation from Sandra Lawrence. Then we're going to do a giveaway. Then we're going to have our wrap up. And we will have another giveaway. And then we will end.
Yes.
So next, all right, we're ready for Sandra.
All right, Miss Sandra. There you go.
Well, great morning, everybody. Listen, thank you all so much for the, Ola, you and Sabrina for this invite and for seeing a need to do these quarterly workshops. As a matter of fact, I don't take this opportunity for granted at all. This or any other opportunity that the Lord lays on someone's heart to ask me to speak, especially to your influence of people. So thank you both for that. I could relate some of, I've known Ola for a long time and look like I've known Sabrina for even longer. And I didn't realize that. But so a great group of people. I definitely, I cherish both of your relationships, and Ola is dear and special to my heart. I tell people that all the time.
Yes.
She too helped me with my home from ground up. So we have a real special relationship. So
Yes.
thank you guys so much. As Sabrina said, my name is Sandra Lawrence. I am a financial coach. I specialize in stewardship coaching, and I've been in the industry for over 13 years. I represent money solutions and market solutions for your money to help your money get work for you rather than against you. So guys, as you take steps to get into your home, and especially after you're in your home, into your physical home, getting your financial house is totally necessary for you to keep, to keep you in your home. I want to say, I have to say that often. And so thinking about that, there's laws of prosperity now. That's based on the word of God. I know this is not a stewardship workshop, guys, but I love the Lord. And so whatever I do it as unto the Lord. And so you'll hear me talk about that a little bit. Hope that doesn't offend anybody. But listen, based on Psalms 112, 112:3, wealth and riches are in the houses and are in their houses, and their righteousness endures forever. So guys, when you think about wealth, anything that can be handed down, we think about wealth and riches being the same thing, which they are not. But wealth is anything that can be handed down from generation to generation, like a mindset, something that's intangible, something that you can't put your hands on, right? And that's an attitude about how you look at things, a mindset, those types of things. So that's, God has given us those. Riches, on the other hand, that's intangible. Houses, cars, red bottom shoes, ladies, things like that. You can pass down, but those are tangible things. So God wants us to go after the wealth rather than the riches. The wealth is the blessings of God, your vision, what God spoke to you, like he did to you, Nicole. I'm going to bring you up a little bit, but what God spoke to you, and the revelation of who you are. You're not trying to be wealthy. You're already wealthy. That's who God said you are, right? And so you're already wealthy. So now let the riches follow you. And if you think about Proverbs 10:12, the riches of the Lord makes a person rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. So, making sure that you're in your home and doing what you need to do, that's what you want to make sure that you do that, because, God has called you to do, and, he's right behind you. So let's look at what your financial house should look like, right? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Thank you. Yeah. All right. And I'm gonna get you down a little bit here. Apologize. All right. I'm gonna stop it for a sec, guys. I gotta get my life together here. You would think I don't do this every day.
Sometimes Zoom has a mind of its own.
It does, unfortunately. I hate it too. Sometimes it will do that, and I promise you, give me a sec here.
Sabrina, you want to do the book giveaway while Sandra's working on that?
Okay, we can do that. Who can tell us, put this in the chat, where did Nicole and her husband Prince live for 5 years? And that is when she got the inspiration for her book. All right, I'm going to the chat.
All right, they're coming in. They're coming in. Oh, look at here. Who is
Oh, okay. The first one is that's going to be Sandra Jeter, but because the Martin Advantage team is who we are, we're going to give a book to Sandra, Lashara, Sissy, and Antonio. All 4 who put it in.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
So guys,
And James, we'll give James one too.
oh James, okay. And we'll see all those people, so we will get your book to you. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I gotta order them from Amazon, but I got Amazon Prime, so we'll have them tomorrow.
Yep, we will.
All right, let me write that down though. Okay, so
Yeah.
now we're ready. Sandra, back to you.
I am ready.
Awesome.
Okay, guys. Listen, I apologize for that. So let's talk about building our financial house. We're talking about building it one level at a time. If you think about it here, we're going to talk about that in a sec. But look at my mission. My mission, definitely God-given. It's a God-given determined purpose to utilize the knowledge, the training, the expertise that I have in the area of financial literacy to empower families to prosper financially, guys. And so now, talking about building your financial house, we're talking about from the foundation to the roof. We're talking about it being layoff and pandemic proof. We know what we've gone through here in 2020, and even now. So we want to make sure that if anything happens, we're still able to sustain, right? And so we're talking about making sure we do that because there are so many challenges that's going on in the world. Looking at some statistics here. Thinking about the most people today, they don't have a financial education. Excuse me, they don't have the right products and services, don't have a financial coach. I believe we need a coach for everything. We need a coach when it comes to, sports and like you just said, Nicole, for buying your home and we may call him a realtor, but if you think about it, it's a coach. A pastor, being, he's definitely a coach. She's a coach when it comes to the Word of God. And so I believe you should have a coach or a mentor in everything that we do. So let's explore some of those as we go through this. Again, looking at some statistics, it says here, Americans repaid almost $83 billion in credit card debt in 2020. That's a lot of doggone debt. Listen, so that's a lot of debt. People are just using credit cards and things like that to pay their bills, to buy groceries. A staggering 46% of Americans miss at least one mortgage or rent payment. And then 25% of that missed even more in 2020, right? Just a few people own stock. It says here some 55%. And that's either direct or part of it. So people don't have not a lot of people have, investments. Over the past decade, United States life insurance, life insurance in the United States ownership has fallen 9%. People are letting their life insurance go because of their inability. Sometimes it's an inability to pay, but they think that should be the first thing they let go when it's actually the last thing they need to let go. So these financial challenges are definitely real and serious. So if you think about it, most families live in a debt cycle versus a cash cycle. Look at the solution though. Step one, and I know most of us have heard this before, pay yourself first. I know you've heard that, but do we actually do it? We're talking about paying yourself first, having at least 3 fundamental accounts. And we're going to talk, go in more in depth in what those accounts are in a sec. But we're thinking about making, when you think about those fundamental accounts, an emergency fund. In case something goes down, most of us rob Peter to pay Paul. We don't have anything in case the car breaks down, the refrigerator breaks or something like that. Then having a short-term account, even if it's to go on vacation or something like that, or just want to be able to get your money on your hands on the money a little bit quicker. And then that long-term account where at the investments where you're talking about your children's education, especially if you have young children, your children's education and especially retirement. Then we're looking about accelerating your debt. You have some debt. We want to talk about how to get rid of the debt, get on track to get rid of that debt, but definitely do it in a quicker time period. We're going to talk about that in a sec. And then protect your income. Most of us think our biggest asset is our home, and that's a great asset. But your biggest asset is the ability to make money, right? So when that money is gone, something comes in and wipes that money out that you're making, what happens? We'll talk about that in a sec. So let's talk about savings for a second, guys. Ola, keep me on track, please. I didn't even look at my time. I apologize for that. So looking at that, have you ever heard of the rule of 72? Most of you, most of you have probably. I had not. It's a calculation that gives you an approximate number of years it takes for your money to double, right? Now, how does that look? Thinking about the monies that where we put our money, most of us put our money in a bank. Banks are giving less than 1% on your savings plans right now, right? They're giving less than 1%, but let's say they're giving 1%. Whatever money you have, you divide that rate that you're getting from your institution, your banking institution, credit union, what have you, and you divide that into 72. What is that? 72. If it's giving 1%, which they're not, they're giving less, but even 1%, 1 divided into 72 is 72 years, guys. It would take for your money to double. That's why when you look at your bank account and you see how much money you made on your money, how much is it? Not very much, right? And but look at this, 6%, that's a little bit better, maybe CDs or something like that, right? Some 401ks, right? Little bit better. That's 12 years. 6 divided into 72 is 12. But then look at 12%. There's some vehicles that are giving 10, 12, 15, 18. Right now, I know a vehicle that's giving 24%. Right? Look, that's 6 years, a whole lot faster. What does that look like in dollars? Look at this. Let's say you had $10,000, right? You got that $10,000 of one-time lump sum deposit, and you put that in your banking institution, whoever that is, and let's say they're giving you 3%. Again, we know they're not, but for the sake of this example, 3 divided into 72 is 24. It will take your $10,000 24 years to double to 20,000, and another 24 years to double to 40,000. Awful long time. Like I said earlier, 6% is a little bit better, but look at 12. 12 divided into 72 is 6. Now your 6%, your $10,000 is doubling every 6 years. In that same 24-year period, now how much do you have? 160,000, right? But then look at that last doubling period. Over $2.5 million that you guys have saved, right? And the thing about it is, this is called a banker's rule. Now, I had worked for a bank twice and never learned this rule. I can't understand. I think this is something we should have been taught in school, middle school, high school, right? We should have been taught this information. So when we got out of school, and now all of us wouldn't have done everything right, but we would have at least had a head start.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
we weren't taught this information. And I think this is where we as a people would lack.
Absolutely.
And that's where I want to make sure that we, I'm on a crusade to stop this foolishness. I'm on a crusade to get this information into our homes so that our young people, I have a 23 and a 26-year-old, teaching them this now. My daughter she went to Hampton University, and she texted me and say, "Mommy, we're talking about the Rule of 72." And they thought she was the smartest thing because she knew the Rule of 72. But she would have never ever known that had I not been in this business.
Right.
Been in this industry. You see what I'm saying? And so she was able to, to know about this, but we've got to get this information so we can change some generations. And so the bank, looking at this, the bank, they were so happy to give you this little 3%, even though they're not giving 3%, but they would have been happy to give you this 40,000 because what they did, took your money, invested in the global economy at 12%, and who got the 2.5 million?
Yeah.
They did. And they got it on whose money?
Mine.
My money. Say it ain't. Look, say it ain't so.
Say it ain't so. But it is.
But it is. So we want to get this information, guys, to as many people as possible quickly, because you have a whole lot more 6-year governing periods in your lifetime than you do, of course, 24. So let's look at it. Talking about those emergency funds, we talked about a little bit. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here because they're pretty self-explanatory. We're talking about maybe a money market or something that you can get your hands on quickly. Short term, we talked about that concept, more conservative one. You don't need, maybe in the next 5 years or so. And then that long-term care, long-term fund, like I said, to make sure we get your children's college. Ooh, there's a typo right there. Children's college education in place, right?
Right.
So we want to make sure we get that thing. Think about paying off your debt. Accelerate your debt. Let's think about it. Most of us have, credit cards, right? I don't, but most people do have credit cards, right? Or I do have one, but I don't use them. So here we got this credit card here, looking at this debt stacking program. You paying $220 per month on that retail, if you want to pay and get it off. Most people just paying the minimal payment. The minimal payment will kill you. I mean, James can help you with that. It will kill you trying to just pay that minimal payment, right?
Yeah.
And so looking at that, you pay that retail card off. Now, just because you got some money, extra money, don't go splurging. Take that and act like you're still paying it. But take that $220 and start paying on the next one. So add that to what you're already paying. Right now, that's going to accelerate that a whole lot faster, right? Now that pay that down, pay off that one. Don't splurge. Now you got 2 of them paid off. Act like you're still paying it. Take it now and go on to that car loan. Right? Act like you're still paying it. Continue that cycle until you get to your mortgage. Now I've got another thing. I think I shared that with Ola. Here we can get that mortgage paid off in 15 years,
Absolutely.
Right? But that's another presentation. But here we show you how to still get that mortgage paid off a whole lot faster.
Yes.
Get your debt paid off quicker. Now look at the difference if you don't. Pay off in 23 years, if not. But then look at this. In 9 years, 14 years sooner. Interest that you save, zilch if you don't, 130,000 in interest.
Yes.
Right? And so now you've paid interest of, if you don't, 214 more than, I tell people this, are you borrowing 100,000, but you pay back 300,000.
Yep.
Right? And now you only paid $83,000 in that. Look at that. That's huge. That's huge. So now once your debts are paid off, that frees up money that you can now begin to invest, begin
Best.
to save. Right? And we're talking about eliminating debt, but building generational wealth.
Awesome. Yes.
Right?
Good stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Now, look at us. We're talking about protecting your income. Most people call it life insurance. I call it income protection or income replacement. Why do I call it that? Look at this. Look at this happy family. Just happy as they can be going through this yard. I mean, through the yard with the leaves. They got these bills over here, mortgage, cars, insurance, credit card, utility, grocery, child care. $7,000 worth of bills. They bring home 7,000, so they making it, right? But look at this, guys. What happens if dad passes away? That income is gone. Cut in half. Now, what happens to these bills though? Did they cut the bills in half?
No, ma'am.
No.
No, ma'am.
I mean, especially the City of Rock Hill, forget that. They still need. They're still looking for that. But
yeah, they're gonna get that baby.
Exactly. What you say? They come get the baby. Right. But look, this is what happens so many times. One income is missing, and most of us say we're one paycheck from out on the street.
Right.
But look at that. The bills are still coming. If this happens, this family is most likely to lose everything. What happens in our neighborhoods though, now the mother got to go get a part-time job. The children they're able to get out in the streets and do whatever they want to do. And now there's a cycle for us.
Yeah.
You see, it's just not us losing an income, but now it affects every other area in our households.
Yeah.
See, and so we want to show you what that really looks like. Here we're talking about income protection being life insurance. Make sure you got that foundation, because you could be working on all kinds of other things in your financial house, in your household. But if that income is gone and you don't have the proper life insurance to make sure that income continues to come in, house and everything else is gone. Let's look at it. Here, life insurance, just real quickly, the difference in life insurance here, cash value versus term. Cash value and term, only two types, regardless of what anybody else tell you. These kinds are lumped up in the cash value, right? Here with cash value, you get a little bit of insurance for a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? If you die, you lose your savings. If you get all of your savings, you lose your coverage. If you get any of your savings here that's lumped up because it's connected together, because it's bundled together, if you get any of your savings, you have to borrow it and pay it back plus interest. But wait a minute, whose money is this?
Mine.
But you got to borrow it.
All right.
Right? Borrow your own money. Okay. Well, that's that way. Let's look over here. Term. Buy term and invest the difference. Now over here, how much do you and your husband have, or your wife? Now you have over 250,000, right? And how much is it costing you now?
$80.
Right? Buy term life insurance because it's cheaper. Invest the difference. The difference now being $145. Take that and now invest it outside of the policy. At the end, now when it's time for retirement, you have over $511,000, and it's all yours. If you want to get some of it, now you want to keep it there because you got it there for a reason. But if you want it, if you need to get it, it's a simple withdrawal, no penalties, no anything, right? So now you have become self-insurable. You're self-insurable. Now, what do you at the end of this term, because term does stand for a period of time. Now, at the end of this term, just like your car insurance, your homeowner's insurance, at the end of each term, what do you have to do? Renew it. But here, if you have now saved up $511,000, what do you not necessarily have to do with this? You don't necessarily have to renew because you are now self-insurable.
Right.
Insurance is only money when you need it.
Right.
So now I show you how to make sure you get that in place, right? The right kind. Life insurance creates an immediate an immediate estate for a family. It's the best way to pass the wealth on to the next generation, if there, especially when there are no other assets in place. Black Enterprise said that put an article out there a couple of years ago and said African Americans are the only race that has not embraced life insurance as a way to generate wealth.
Wow.
Got to get on board, guys.
We
We
do.
have to get on board. And so,
Right.
looking at a couple of other necessary products, wills, living wills, power of attorney, because I can tell you now, if you got this financial house being built and you're building this up, but you become incapacitated, you need a power of attorney. A living will to say what you need, what you want done. A will in case you, God forbid, pass away. You need these documents in place. They enable your loved ones to pass the expensive, time-consuming probate process, right? Because you got to go through probate to get things done. If you don't have these things, and folks fight over anything. We say we don't have anything to fight over. We fight over. Mom said I can have this cup.
Right. That's right.
Right.
Uh-huh.
The flat fee, it can range over $300 or even more to get these in place. It should help you to get that in place to make sure that you have your documents in place, right?
Mhm.
And then all of this ties into having your financial needs analysis. That's having a financial ID. Make sure you have your financial needs analysis, whatever you need. All of this stuff is going out. If you can see that this is you, all this is going out. We want to show you how to bring all of it in by putting together a financial needs analysis that's confidential, that's customized, and complementary.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
Which we look at it as a financial GPS.
Mhm.
Now we go back to having your income, your house, financial house in order. Again, it starts there with the income protection, making sure you have that in case something, God forbid, you should pass away. You want to have your life insurance in case you die, and you want to have investments and savings in case you live. Both need to be going at the same time so you can get these things going.
Yes.
That makes sense, guys? With
Yeah.
the financial education and right products, you can build a strong financial house.
All right.
Amen. Good
All right?
stuff.
And we just want to help you get those things protected. And one other reason people are having so many financial products, they don't have a financial coach. They don't have enough money in place, and making sure you have additional monies. I can show you how to generate that extra stream of income so that money is still coming in. So let's discuss that, and then we can make sure that our financial house is possible, have the financial education, know the right products and services. The final step is to get your financial coach. I can help.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Schedule a time with me here, and I think my information is on the screen.
Yes.
I pray that helped. What I do want to say is, making sure that we understand, making sure where we are in life, making sure we are, being able to pay off the debt. And I just believe that whoever, the Bible says, Proverbs 27, after 12:27 says, whoever is slothful will not roast his gain, but the diligent man will get precious wealth, right? So you're slothful. You go and kill your game. Why in the world don't you want to enjoy it?
Mm-hmm.
So go kill your game. Once you catch it, why catch it if you can't enjoy it? So catch your game and go ahead and roast it and enjoy it, right? So that means what I'm saying to you is now that you've gotten on this webinar, you hear this information. Let's make sure we taking advantage of it. People say knowledge is powerful. That's not true. Applied knowledge is powerful.
That's right.
Go and apply it. God, I pray blessings over your businesses, over your lives, in Jesus' name.
Yes.
Amen. Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
Good stuff.
You did not need to use that food analogy because I was thinking like put some barbecue sauce on that thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Good stuff. Good
so
stuff.
much. Oh my goodness. That was powerful. And you showed us the power of compound interest.
Yes.
And how your money can grow. And for so long, I heard And I know you all have heard people say, I ain't got no money. And I know that's not correct English, but that's what you hear. Well, you know what? We should be tired of saying that.
Yeah.
And we should be doing what we need to do to get some money.
Uh-huh.
And I will not just live and die. I will live and I will leave a legacy to my children.
That's right.
And so thank you so much. And please, you all see the contact information if you'd like to have a one-on-one. And just like we do, we do checkups. We go to the doctor once a year. We do need to start doing financial checkups. We need to do a mental health checkup.
Yes.
We need to start taking care of ourselves and our families. So,
Mhm.
oh my goodness, y'all, I could just shout. This has been good today.
Very good. Mhm.
Okay, well, we'll keep it moving because we know we got to let you go. We hate to, but we do have to let you go. So we have another giveaway. Look at Vanna. I got too many I wrote down, but I think the one I'm going to go with is tell us the name of the rule that Sandra mentioned.
Y'all better know this one.
The number 72. Nope, I want the name of the rule. Let's okay, let's see. Okay, all right. So, Leela, okay. Leela and Tony were the first two that put 72 in. And James has 72, Adrian and Gabby. Okay. We're going to have a lot of prizes to give away here, but that's okay. Okay. So it didn't give me a time. Oh, there it is. So Leela was 11:14:59. Antonio was 11:15:01. So Leela got that one. But now tell me that 72, there was a name for it. If you can give me that name, you're going to be a winner. No? Okay. That's okay. It's Saturday. It was the banker's rule. Let's see the. Oh, LaShara got it. Okay. All right. The banker's rule. Okie dokie. Well.
All right.
So I think Leela got that gift card, and Tony and LaShara, I'll take care of them.
Okay.
All right. And Sandra, LaShara, Antonio, James, and Sissy will also get a copy of Nicole's book. All right.
Nice. What a great seminar. Great seminar.
So we'll have closing remarks from Ola, and then I'll just give you a couple reminders and we will be out.
Yes. Well, guys, again, thank you so much for joining us today. It is always a pleasure and an honor to bring you this information. I'm telling you, our mission is to educate as many people who want to be educated. And our community is, we are just, for lack of knowledge, and that's what Sandra was saying. I mean, because you don't know, you don't know. But if you seek knowledge, it will be found. If you just reach out and try to get some understanding, it's available to you. So guys, the next time we have a seminar, make sure you tell everybody you know what we are doing and what our mission is. And that is to educate our community on building wealth. And you've got Sandra Lawrence as a resource. Contact her, give her a call, use her. She's there for you. So take advantage of what's there for you. We have, of course, Mr. James Hayden. He's our loan officer extraordinaire. He gets things done when it comes to, lending. And then you have Sabrina and myself. We are here because we care. That's one of our mottos. So if we didn't care, we wouldn't be bringing you this information. And we've had over 7+, we got a few people currently under contract. So it works, guys. It works. It's not about us making money. It's about us bringing this information to you guys. So, hey, come and get it because we got it. All right.
All right, we're getting ready to wrap it up. And let me share something quickly with you. A few years ago, I went through a very expensive divorce. And at one point, I was working 4 jobs. And one of my kids said, Mama, why are you working so much? And some of you know, some of you don't, but I was paying alimony because of the discrepancy in income. And I told, it was my son, I said, well, they can tell me what I have to pay, but they can't tell me how I'm going to live. That's between me and my God.
Amen.
So you all decide how you're going to live and put steps in place to live the life that you want to live. Don't let anybody tell you what God has for you and to stand in the way of your blessings. So again, thank you for being here. And our next financial workshop will be on July 24th at 10 o'clock a.m. We hope we'll be face to face. We don't know, but if not, we'll be back here on Zoom.
That's right.
But just know we'll be back.
That's
And in between that time, if you need to talk to us, if you need a question answered, if we don't know the answer, we'll get it for you.
That's right.
If you want to start the process and you say, I'm not going to be ready to next year. Well, you know what? Next year will come quicker than you think. So go ahead and start planning. And just know that we're here as a resource. So we hope that everyone has a super Saturday, and all of our prize winners, be looking for your prizes, and everyone else, just know that you're a winner too, just by the mere fact that you were here to hear all of this great information.
Absolutely.
I know I've been blessed, and even if it's something that I had heard before, sometimes it will trigger you and make you get busy. And remember, sometimes information is not for you, it's for someone else.
That's right.
So share it with your family, with your friends. And Ola recorded this. So we're going to see if we can't make sure that it is available for others to view, because we know everybody couldn't be here. And some people, some people want to wait and know how good it is. Well, now y'all can go tell them how good it was.
Yes.
All right. Well, have a super Saturday. Enjoy your time with family. And we hope to see all of you soon.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks
Bye.
again. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Sandra. Bye, Nicole. Bye, James.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
You're still with us. Bye, Tonio. Bye, Sandra.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, Shara. Thank you. Bye, Angie.
Bye, Kendra.
Bye, Kendra.
Bye, John.
Bye.
Bye, John Boy. Bye, Mary Ellen. Sam, thank you so much. You did an amazing job, and we
y'all were good.
More people on your calendar. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, dear. Thank you.
All right. Blessings to you all.
You too now.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.
All right, I'm grabbing my coffee.
Okay, I'm gonna jump on. So we can jump on the same screen if you want.
Okay, I'll come in.
All right.